everyone, welcome back to another attacker video where we'll be talking about an old game between Ayo Sakata and Minoru Kitani. So both are very famous players from the old times. So Ayo Sakata is playing as black, and then we can tell from the board that white does have a lot of territory. The two corners and a side on the bottom, a side on the top, and a very well alive group on the left side. Black, on the other hand, does have some territory, but not as much to compete. So black's hope to actually win this game is to target white's group in the middle. The dragon in the middle already has a very solid eye. But where's the second eye? So black needs to make use of the fact that white is not completely alive and forge an attack. And this is obviously not a very easy attack. The reason being that white does have a very wide exit point. So at this point, let's say for example, the most intuitive move for us is to probably play this small knight. Against this move, white is going to attach out. When black honeys, white extends, black keeps pushing, and then white extends. And then we realize that white is successfully out. If you keep pushing, I can just keep extending. Black can obviously extend like this and forming some territory. But if black just only gets this as compensation, it is very hard to compete against the territory that white has. So black is probably going to lose by a little bit if this drags into the endgame. But this is the most intuitive move, at least for me, and I believe for a lot of my viewers. What are some of the other possibilities if black attacks from this side? Well, this leaves a lot of flaws. First of all, white can pierce out from here. So this just doesn't look like a great move. More importantly, white can attach out in this way. If black connects, white will have this as a sente. Black is forced to connect, and then white can hop out. And it is very, very difficult to catch this dragon anymore. First of all, there's a little bit of leak over here. But most importantly, there's a supporting group over here. So the chances of you killing white is actually not so high. Well, what about we eliminate the exit point from here? Well, that leaves a very obvious way for white to hop out. This is also not going to work for more or less similar reasons, because there's so many space for white to work with. Given that white has already an eye, leaving this group is not going to be a huge problem. So how do we attack a dragon like this, right? A dragon that has a very wide exit point as well as a solid eye. So let's look at what Ayo Sakata, let's first look at Ayo Sakata's idea is, right? Today, our main idea is when we try to forge an attack, it's very important for us to do good preparation work. And our preparation work idea is going to be forming a wall. Let's say, for example, if we were able to form a wall over here, and then we attack from this direction, we can see that if white attaches and then extend, this is very hard for white to live. White has no way to live because we have, blocked the exit over here. So if we can somehow manage to do some prep work in this region and then start attacking the dragon, we have a very high chance to actually kill it. But obviously the task is not very simple when you do the prep work. If we just do a very simple prep work like this, white is going to block. This single stone is not going to allow black to kill the dragon when you attack from this direction. But let's say you try to get more prep work done. the problems white's not going to answer anymore. White will understand what you're doing and then hop out right away. So this move allows complete safety for the dragon, and there's no obvious follow-up over here. If you turn, white can just extend. And there's really, white just kept the main profits. And this really doesn't hurt white at all. So when we try to do the prep work, it is very important that we exchange as many moves as possible, which is why in the actual game, Sakata decided to attach into J4. This is an excellent move. Now let's say, for example, if white plays very passively by extending down, black can hop out. This is a sente because next move black is going to block. So if white connects in whatever way, once we have this stone that is a lot closer than before, we can forge an attack from this side. Now let's look at the sequence of variation. The black is able to enclose white. So here the connection is completely blocked off. So if white pushes like this, it gets cut off. If white tries to struggle like this, hoping black would extend and then squeeze here and form another eye, black is going to play the Kosumi first. And when white tries to get out this way, black is going to connect. So there's a cutting point white needs to fix, and the next move, black Kosumi is over here. That is just a very dead, yeah, this is a very, very dead group. White has no way out from here. So we can see that if the exit from here is completely blocked off, white is very likely to die. What if white extends up? If white extends up, black is able to push up. White has to connect underneath. So let's say, for example, if white just says, hey, I want to save the dragon. Well, this doesn't work because when black descends, everything here got killed, and then black does not need to kill the dragon anymore. Black is simply leading by a lot of points. So the difficult part for white is to keep the profits while staying safe for the dragon. But after this skirmish, black just needs to extend, and then white is in huge trouble. If white tries to live the dragon, black can Atari and then crawl back, and then white is killed. So once again, for the similar reason, black does not even need to kill the dragon, right? Black just leading by points because of the profits over here. So maybe what white should have played in the game is the Hane on top, in which case black is going to play this one. White blocks, and then black Hanes. White extends down, and then black connects over here. So there's a very serious cutting point over here, so white likely needs to spend a move to fix in some sort of way. And then black is able to gain all these profits in Sente, and therefore he does not have to kill the dragon anymore. He's just leading in terms of points. But this is probably the most resilient defense for white. In the actual game, Minoru decided to Hane on the bottom, and then black decides to Hane over here. White cuts, black extends up, and then we suddenly realize that white is in big trouble. So if white tries to connect here, black is gonna crawl, and then white plays this one. So these guys are dead, but doesn't matter because black can just block on top. This is a Sente. White has to go back and capture. This is another Sente. White has to completely capture these. And then when black goes from the top, we can see how well the preparation has been done. And there's zero chance for white to survive because it's just black stones everywhere. In the actual game, Minoru obviously reads that out, and then he decided to capture this stone over here. Black Ataris, and then white captures, black Ataris again. White cannot go for this fight because the ko is way too heavy. If black ever wins this ko, everything over here is dead. These things are broken. But if black loses the ko, it doesn't matter. Like black can just go for any ko threats right now. This is obviously ko threats. So black has tons of ko threats against this dragon, and then he's fighting this ko. So white cannot win this ko. Or the cost for white to actually play this ko is way too high. It's way higher than black. So white had to connect. Black Ataris, white Ataris, and black captures. And then white is in a very difficult situation. So more rationally, white should probably just hop out because of how dangerous this dragon is in. The problem with that is black can just Atari and then connect, and this is a huge territorial loss for white. Basically, black was able to pierce through the site, affecting the corner. So white is behind in territory significantly. In the actual game, Minoru said, just thinks maybe I have a better chance to bet on my dragon rather than allowing black to pierce through. White decided to keep the profits, but then when black attacks from the top, this is completely hopeless. So at this point, I would say the game is pretty much over because of how well the preparation has been done. And and this is just very, very difficult for white. So white struggled for the rest of the game, but at the end, Ayo Sakata was able to slay the dragon. But if we look at how difficult this is, right, it's like more or less the same thing. So black can just cut like white off. Now, because of all of these preparation moves, it just looks so hard for white to fight over here. So in the end, no surprise that white is killed entirely inside, this huge influence. So let's just do a quick recap. So today we talked about when a direct attack cannot work, you should think about doing preparation moves. You should start a skirmish somewhere else. This is a very common idea in attacker, and it's usually a bright idea. But we also talked about the techniques actually matters. If we just do simple preparation like this, it's not going to work out. But a lot of times I think my viewers are very afraid of going into these kind of complicated variation. This obviously takes practice. Let's say, for example, when Minoru decided to Hane, obviously we have the choice to cut inside as well as Hane here. The reason you don't want to cut inside is because of the reading. So that's where your practice of life and death problem comes into play. White's going to Atari on top. When you flip Atari, white can take, and then when you connect, white can just play out like this. So the result of this is that white is able to safely guard the corner as well as a little bit of the side. And black was able to pierce through, but the profit is not significant enough to actually win the game. Which is why reading out this variation is very important. But I think that comes with your practice, and that comes with time. So in the actual game, this is a very simple way for you to create skirmish, right? So we can see that there's a problem over here and there's a problem over here, and white cannot deal with both of them with one move. So I think the idea that I introduced here today is super important. Is when direct attack cannot work, we do some preparation work. Especially we can do the prep work at a place where our opponent is very weak. So the reason But let's say for example, right? Just say for example, if white's already like this, there's no prep work you can do, right? Like you pretty much have to give up the idea of killing the dragon. You have to go for something like settling down with the middle. But we could do the preparation work because of the fact that white is very, very weak over here. There's no like significant problems, but we can create a skirmish in this area to prepare for the kill. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.